All right, hello everyone and welcome. How you doing? Wow, we actually have a lot of people here today for the pre-stream, more than usual, so that's a good sign, right? Welcome to today's gameplay stream. I am Darkside Phil. It is Wednesday, excuse me. I lost track of what day it was. It is Wednesday, September 28th, 2016. And there's a lot to talk about today. In fact, there's a lot of good news. I always like when I have lots of good news to share with all of you. So, thank you very much for being here on today's pre-stream. You're going to get a lot of cool, positive information. Plus, of course, today's gameplay stream is something completely different. I am playing Forza Horizon 3. Which, if you're not aware, is the first racing game that I'm actually giving a shot in years. In fact, I think the last one that I actually played at any significant length was Mario Kart on the Wii U, and then before that was the launch of the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, and I believe at that time I bought one racing game for each console. I think for PS4 it was Need for Speed, and then if I remember correctly, it actually was a Forza game for the Xbox One. Obviously, don't 100% quote me on that. That was quite some time ago. I mean, we're talking 3 years ago, right? Now, not to say that I haven't played racing games in the past. I have. But, as of late, it seems like a lot of these games are going more for a simulation rather than arcadey or action style. Like, if you look at some of the games that I played in the past, you know, a lot more. Remember the one that had all the elemental stuff? Like, there was storms and stuff. What was it? MotorStorm Apocalypse? Oh, man. That was a challenging game, but that was a fun playthrough. Or games like Need for Speed The Run, or what was it, Driver San Francisco? Whatever the driver game was that I played that time. They were all fun. They had these cool plots to them and all of that. But they don't do that stuff anymore. Honestly, if you actually look at the racing games that come out there, most of them are just kind of plain simulation for people who I like to call gearheads. People who are into that culture of cars and motorsports and, you know, modding a car and, you know, souping up a car and racing and all of that. And quite honestly, I've never been one of those kind of people. I just haven't. I've never been all about cars in my lifetime, and I don't foresee I ever will be at this point. And by the way, by no means am I speaking negatively of people who are. If you're into cars and that's your hobby and whatever, good on you. You know, that's a perfectly valid one. I think it's a more expensive one, especially I've had a few friends over my lifetime who bought cars and like modded them and souped them up and ended up, basically it's a money pit. It sucks all your money into it, right? But it is a perfectly valid thing. I mean, you got things like NASCAR and all kinds of different racing and stuff based off of cars, so I understand why some people like that so much. But I've never been a fan of that, really. So the few and far between that I have done racing games for YouTube have been some pretty epic situations. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with everyone here. I don't know too much about Forza Horizon 3 besides what Stream Chat told me this morning. I'm not even lying. Like, I didn't know much about this game, but people were like, we really want to see Phil do a racing game. He hasn't done one in a million years. From what I'm going to understand, this game has a more open world atmosphere. It's not like enclosed on tracks or anything like that. I guess it doesn't necessarily have a campaign, but it does have a career mode. So I guess that's what I'm going to be going through. Okay. So I guess we'll go from there. We'll just see how it goes. All right. And hopefully it's entertaining. Hopefully for me it's something different and refreshing. For you it's something entertaining, right? Especially because, let's be completely honest here, the month of September has been a pretty dry, disappointing month in a lot of ways. No big AAA releases at all. And originally, that's kind of the flip side. We thought there was going to be big AAA releases, but tons of them ended up either getting delayed, or, you know, games that maybe we thought would carry over into September didn't necessarily carry over in a way that was a positive one. I'm not going to get too much into it, but the biggest highlights of this month for me were HD re-releases. And that's not necessarily a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, especially when you're starting a hardcore gaming season, you expect, wow, there's going to be all these heavy-hitting titles, and there's been, like, nothing. It's been pretty much stagnant this month because of that. Now, next month, things are going to pick up in a big way. I mean, just off the top of my head, Mafia 3... which, by the way, I'm going to have an update for you here on the pre-stream on Mafia 3, some good news. Gears of War 4, WWE 2K17, the launch of the PlayStation Virtual Reality System, Battlefield 1, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, the first DLC for Dark Souls 3. I'm on the fence about playing Titanfall 2. And there's actually 1 or 2 other games in there that I think are launching that I haven't even really considered yet, just because I know I want to cover all that other stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. We shall see what happens. But October is stacking up to be a crazy good month. The complete polar opposite of September. All right. So this could be something refreshing. Forza could be something refreshing and different for me to do to take us into the next week until these new releases start hitting. And by the way, this is technically a new release. This game was released yesterday. Even though I didn't hype it up and I didn't know too much about it, doesn't mean that it's not a new hot game. So let's see how this goes, okay? Now, excuse me. Let's talk. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. Good positive news for the pre-stream, which always makes me happy, okay? The first piece of positive news, ladies and gentlemen, is that as of last night, it is official, overnight, we hit the funding goal for Patreon for this month. So I want to say thank you here. I might as well bring this up as a celebratory kind of a deal. Thank you to everyone who did come together and pledge. We actually had a bunch of people last night who either pledged, one person pledged a big amount, so thank you to that person. But I don't want to say their name because they didn't specifically say if I should or not. But there's actually a few other people who upped their pledges. And as of right now, we've hit the funding goal for this month, which means that the Halloween Horror Marathon is a go, as long as, and I know I hate to say this, as long as in the next 3 days, because we got today, tomorrow, and Friday, the last 3 days of the month of September, as long as no one lowers their pledge considerably. Because unfortunately what happens sometimes is at the very end of the month, someone realizes, oh shit, last month I pledged a big amount because I wanted to see that Banjo-Kazooie playthrough happen, and I forgot to lower it. I gotta lower it so I don't get, charged that big amount again come the 1st of October. So there is potential that a few people may be lowering their pledges in the next few days. So I would like to say thank you and, very positive happiness here for the fact that it looks like we're going to hit the goal, but we're not necessarily 100% out of the woods yet, all right? So just making that abundantly clear, we're not 100% guaranteed, but pending a bunch of people lowering their pledges out of nowhere, I think we're good. I think we're in the clear, okay? So, what that means, okay, is that early on in October, I'm going to be putting a thread on thekingofhate.com, my website, on the forums, and patrons who pledged $5 or more this month are going to be nominating games for about a week to 2 weeks. They're going to be nominating games for me to play during this Halloween marathon, and then about halfway through October, I'm going to make a thread where there's a poll, and they'll be voting on which horror-themed games they'd like to see me play during this marathon. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. You could still get in, by the way. If you haven't yet, and you're like, oh man, is it over? No, there's still time. By the end of this month, if you pledge $5 or more, you could still be nominating and voting on this event, which is pretty much a given at this point. I know a lot of people were, oh, I don't want to give money because I'm afraid if I give the $5, then the event won't happen. It looks like it's happening, all right? So there you have it. Please consider, if you haven't, pledging, and you could still get in on the nomination process. But that's the first piece of great news. So thank you, everyone. I'm very happy. I cannot wait. Now what I'm going to be doing is going to all the Halloween stores. I've already gone to 2 in my area. There's at least 1 to 2 more for me to check out, and I'm going to pick out a cool Halloween outfit to wear during that event. I am very much looking forward to it. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Now, let's talk a next piece of positive information. This one's actually kind of a mishap, which is kind of funny. So for those of you who like my vlogging stuff over on the King of Hate Vlogs, you can see a plug to it right here on your screen, okay? Yeah, for those of you who see this, the King of Hate Vlogs, you know that once a month I do an unboxing of something from Loot Crate. And it changes. It changes every month now because for about 2 years I was doing just the standard Loot Crate. The one that they send to everyone. It's a more general pop culture kind of Loot Crate. It has television, video games, anime, all kinds of stuff encompassing in it. A lot of times it has like movie merch and stuff like that. Last month, for the very first time, I did a Loot Anime unboxing, where I unboxed an anime box. Oh, it was cool. It had this little bento box in it, this big poster. It had an actual manga in there. It was a lot of interesting stuff that is like kind of outside of normally what would be in a Loot Crate box that I would unbox, so it was really neat. Well, I was on the docket, or the list, to get a Loot Gaming box this month, because I said, hey, let's do every month, maybe I could do a different box and I can unbox them and show everyone the difference between the different Loot Crates, right? So I was supposed to get the Loot Gaming box. All of a sudden this week I got another Loot Anime box, and I was like, what is this? So I actually contacted Loot Crate asking them what was going on, and they said they had actually sent that in error. So basically I'm getting 2 Loot Crates this month. I'm getting the Loot Anime and the Loot Gaming. So by the end of this week, I'm going to film the unboxing of another Loot Anime box, and you're going to find that video on the King of Hate vlogs by the end of this week. And then whenever the Loot Gaming shows up, which is supposed to be around the first week of October, then I'm going to be unboxing that as well. So you're going to see double the unboxings this time period, which normally, that's cool. That's something different, refreshing. I'm very excited to see what's in these boxes. It's cool because after 2 years of doing the same thing, you get a little bit stagnant, you know what I mean? So now it's actually picking up a little bit. And by the way, I should take this opportunity to say, I do have a referral code as well as a referral link for you to save money if you're interested in getting a Loot Crate subscription. You can find it in the description of this live stream on YouTube, okay? Or any of my on-demand videos on YouTube. I put it in there. It's actually, I think it's like lootcrate.com/darksidephil. And once you go there, you can pick any box. And the code is SaveMe10DSP. Save me 10 DSP. You save 10% on any Loot Crate subscription. And you can do multiple ones and use the code multiple times and get credit for all of those. Okay? So, more on that as I unbox these things. But I think that's cool that I got double boxed this month, alright? But complete luck. But that's pretty cool. Another piece of good news. The upcoming release of Mafia 3. Alright? It really is. When Mafia 3 releases next week, it's actually October 7th. Alright? It's a week from this Friday. When Mafia 3 releases, it really is going to open the floodgates to the new releases for 2016, for the end of the year. Because after that, pretty much every few days, we're going to have a major release after major release, peripheral release, all these different releases leading to the end of the month. And I'm going to be completely inundated with releases and games, and it's going to be a lot of fun, all right? So, first of all, just to prepare you all for that, all right? It's coming. But in order to celebrate the launch of Mafia 3, I got 2 things in mind, all right? Now, the first thing is, if Mafia 3 is having a midnight launch, which I don't know yet. I actually have to try to confirm this on PSN, but it sucks because a lot of times it's not clear on PlayStation Network if it's getting a midnight launch for me or not. If Mafia 3 gets a midnight launch on PlayStation Network, I'm considering doing a late night premiere stream. Now, I haven't done one of these. I can't even remember the last one that I did. That's how long it's been since I did a late night stream, okay? I usually do it typically for whatever game opens the floodgates for the hardcore gaming season. I actually remember last year, that was Until Dawn. That was the game that kind of did that. This year, it's Mafia 3. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it does get a midnight release on PSN, and if it does, I'll be doing that. I don't know yet. I have to confirm, and I haven't found the information yet. I'm still looking for it, all right? But worst case scenario, I have actually cleared up my schedule, all right? I have cleared up my schedule for Friday, October 7th. So even if I can't do a midnight release for whatever reason, I'm going to be playing Mafia 3 all day that day. I'm going to be doing a main gameplay stream and a second gameplay stream to hit the ground running with this hardcore gaming season. I think that having a big, chunk of a good 5-6 hours of gameplay on launch day is perfect, and the perfect way to handle this new release. All right, now that's different because normally the past few weeks, Friday has been my kind of day off where I only do one stream and then I go do errands and stuff. I'm actually purposely rearranging my schedule to make Friday completely free so that I can do that for you, okay? So if you're looking forward to Mafia 3, if this is something that you've been eagerly anticipating, I think you're going to enjoy it, all right? I think it is. It's going to be something fun and interesting and different, and hopefully, it'll turn out to be a good game. I mean, I think that's what everyone's kind of hoping for, because we've seen all this information on it, but we're not sure if it's going to be as good as possible. You know what I mean? So we'll find out. It's always good when the first game of a big gaming season actually ends up being a good game. All right, so that's the kind of the final piece of good news here for the pre-stream. FYI, really quick, just so everyone knows what's coming up in the next few days. Right now, it's Forza Horizon 3. Tonight, I'm playing more Banjo-Kazooie. Yes, even more. Every day I've been playing this game, and I've been enjoying it, so I'm continuing on with more of that tonight. So if you've been following along the playthrough, hopefully you will continue to follow later tonight on DSPGaming when the videos go live. All right? Tomorrow, Ask the King. Tomorrow, I'm not doing a gameplay stream. Instead, I'm doing Ask the King. This is my bi-monthly Q&A show, where you ask questions on the kingofhate.com forums, and I answer them. So if you have not yet, I strongly urge you, please head to thekingofhate.com, go to the forums. There's a section right there for Ask the King, and you can post up your questions. Tomorrow I'll be going through all those questions, picking the best ones, and answering them. All right, so hopefully you will do so. All right, now also, if you were a patron of mine in the past 2 months, so patrons for, July and August, if you pledge $20 or more, you are guaranteed to get your question answered. You've already had your forum account upgraded so that you have access to this premium forum where you can post up your Ask the King questions. So please do so if you have not, because those questions will be guaranteed answered tomorrow as well. All right, so that's going to be fun. And tomorrow night, I will be playing, yes, even more Banjo-Kazooie tomorrow night. Friday, as long as Forza turns out well today, Friday I'll be returning to Forza. So Friday will be the next Forza stream. And then the weekend is solely dependent on how things go. If Forza is going swimmingly and people want to see more Forza, I'll keep playing Forza. If people are tired of Forza after 2 sessions, then this weekend I'm going to start up a New Game Plus run of Dead Rising Remastered, where I go through the game a second time with all the abilities and upgrades and experience that I earned in my first playthrough, and I listen to you, the viewers, in stream chat, and you're going to say, oh, Phil, you missed this psychopath. Go over here and fight him, and I'll do all that stuff that you guys wanted me to do the first playthrough, but I kind of was going cold. It'll be a more interactive playthrough where I try to do all the stuff I missed out on the first time around. All right? So that's the schedule for the next several days. We'll play it by ear. If Forza's going well, I'll keep playing it. If not, people are getting bored, I'll do Dead Rising. Maybe I'll alternate between the two. This will take us into next week and the countdown to Mafia 3. Okay? All right, well, ladies and gents, I don't have much else to say because I've already talked about Loot Crate, right? I've already talked about Patreon, so I don't need to plug those, okay? The one thing that I will plug today would be KO Gaming, because I haven't talked about it recently, because I haven't done anything on the channel recently, because I haven't really been covering new releases at all, all right? I've been doing all these remasters and everything, and I haven't had a chance to really review any games or do anything on the channel. Coming up in the next few months will be a ridiculous amount of new games, and I am planning on reviewing all of these games for KO Gaming. So I hope that you will definitely check it out over at youtube.com/KOGaming1. The channel's done very well this year. I'm very pleased with its performance. Right now it's kind of slow because there's nothing going on, but once these new releases hit, I'll be non-stop pumping out the reviews and videos for you. I think you're really going to enjoy it, okay? In addition, also, obviously, my Twitter, @TheyCallMeDSP. I'm verified now on Twitter. I have lots of fun conversations with people. It's a much better experience than it ever used to be. Since I became verified, I'm really enjoying the social interaction I'm getting with people on Twitter, so please consider following me there. And, obviously retweeting and faving tweets and stuff that you enjoy yourself, okay? And the final plug today will be for my girlfriend's business. Obviously, that's going to be The Black Current at etsy.com/shop/The Black Current, where you can buy handmade glycerin soaps and wax tart melts from my girlfriend Leanna, who operates this business right out of our home here. She actually just added a few fall-scented products, including things like pumpkin-scented soaps, apple cinnamon, Alpine Frost, which was a bestseller last year. She re-added it to the store, and it almost sold out within 2 days. She only has a few bars of soap left of this one. She also just made a fresh batch of Kentish Rain, which is my favorite soap, and it sold out back in the summer. And she made a new batch because this seems to be a bestseller every time she puts it in the shop, and she realized for the end of the year especially, a lot of people are buying gifts and stuff. They might want to buy some more of it. That's been re-added to the shop as well. Okay, so please consider buying it as a gift for your for a loved one, a family member, your significant other, yourself. I mean, I could just sit here and plug this stuff and the quality of it all day, and you'd take my word for it, right? But don't take my word for it. Check out the website for yourself. There's tons of positive feedback from the customers themselves on the website. People absolutely love the product, so give it a look. There you have it. Thank you, everyone. It is now time for us to start with Forza Horizon 3. I thank you for being patient. I hope you enjoyed the pre-stream with all the good news. I love a good news day. I really do. And a new game day, too. So it's like a double down positive day. Awesome. Thank you, everyone. And let us begin with Forza Horizon 3 right now. All right, here we go.